Well, from last year's climate change agreement between Washington and Beijing to President Xi Jinping's pledge to cut China's carbon emissions, China is pushing to foster international collaboration to tackle climate change. And joining us for more on all of these efforts is Peggy Liu. She leads a nonprofit organization dedicated to accelerating the greening of China. She's internationally recognized for her expertise on China's sustainability landscape. Her work focus spans from clean energy to healthy eating and living. Peggy Liu, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks for having me in D.C.
I know. Well, you're on your way to the White House. That
Yes.
should be very exciting.
Very exciting.
First, I want to talk to you about President Xi and his pledge to start this national program next year that will limit and put a price on greenhouse gas emissions. Tell us how you think this is going to help. Are you excited about this announcement, and what work still needs to be done, and what are you looking forward to in the Paris climate change meeting?
Well, first of all, you have to know this is not necessarily a new announcement. This is something that's been in the works for at least 5 years, and it's actually the result of 7 regional pilots. And this is just the national rollout of the 7 regional pilots. Of course, having a price on carbon is key to actually having the economy be linked to environmental protection. So that's why it should be exciting. The other thing that is really heartwarming about all the activity that's been coming out of Los Angeles in the last couple of weeks with US-China announcements on climate is that it's really a deepening of a great positive relationship, a positive point in US-China relationships. Climate and energy is something that we can so easily agree on that we have to both move forward together.
I see. Okay, well, tell us, what about local communities? You've been involved with this when since like 2007?
2006.
Okay.
Yes.
Have the local communities been receptive to your message, and how have you gotten everyone's attention? Because you were doing this before it was really in vogue.
Well, I would say that China really started taking environmental protection very seriously in 2007. And this is from top down. So I'm, for example, a professor at the China Academy of Governance on sustainable urbanization. I've taught over 1,000 mayors and central government bureau heads on how to build sustainable cities. I can tell you that the local leaders in China don't have any question about climate change and the fact that we're causing it, we're accelerating it, and therefore we hold responsibility to help mitigate actions, mitigate climate change. So the mayors in China are very, very dedicated not only to greening their own cities, but working with cities in the US as well.
What's the price tag of something like this, and where did they get the funding for it?
China, in every way, is looking for sustainable solutions. So, for example, air pollution, it's dedicated hundreds of billions of dollars in just 3 regional pilots to try and reduce air pollution by 15%, 20%, 25% in just 5 years. It's dedicated several $100 billion to cleaning up water pollution. If you think about smart grids, smart cities, LED street lighting, energy efficient lighting, and electric vehicles, any type of sustainable solutions, of course, solar and wind, China is at the forefront of committing both dollars, or RMB, as well as time and expertise to pushing forward sustainable solutions.
Well, let's weave food into all of this. Now it's the single biggest source, 30% if that figure is right, of greenhouse gas emissions responsible for climate change. Tell us more about how eating healthier can actually reduce personal emissions. I mean, a lot of people, they read this and they hear about it, but they think, what can I be doing actually?
Yeah, it's like polar bears are a little too far away, right? 50 years is a little too far away. Even I was shocked when Johan Rockström of the Stockholm Resilience Institute said that 30% of all greenhouse gas emissions comes from food. It comes from the decisions we make every day when we take a bite to eat. And the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine this year came out with a report that says in the UK, if you eat real food and plant-based food, you can reduce your personal emissions by up to 40%. What that means is individual people have a tremendous impact on climate change. As an individual, you can make a difference to improve your world. So that's the message that we're giving to young kids who haven't yet really set their dietary habits. We're teaching them how to eat in a way that's good for them and good for the planet.
But how is that? I mean, is that because you're not relying on foods that are processed, because you're eating things that are coming straight from the ground?
And livestock. a lot of cows, a lot of lamb, anything with 4 legs, really. So livestock especially takes a lot of land. We deforest a lot of land to grow grain just to feed the livestock, when we could be using a smaller plot of land to grow the same amount of vegetables that would give you the same amount of nutrition. So ideally, eat more plant-based foods, maybe a little bit of meat here and there, but probably up to 10%, 15% non-plant-based foods. And then real foods, so less processed foods, and more local foods, so less foods that require cold storage or logistics to ship to you.
And I know you're going to be sharing all of this with Michelle Obama at the White House.
Her team, as you know, has been pushing very, very aggressively how to eat healthy, and then also let's move, how to exercise. All of that is really key to the future of our planet, not just to ourselves, our own health, lowering obesity, lowering the rate of diabetes, but also the future of our planet. So it's a great message that both U.S. and China could be taking forward to the rest of the world.
Well, we're so pleased to have you here, and we appreciate all your efforts, and everyone's listening. Great work.
Thank you.
Thank you
very
so much.